Primetime Local News Late Edition, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Happy Friday, everyone. We have made it to the end of the week. We have a really exciting show for you. We are on location at the Rustlers Food Drive tonight as an exciting game goes on. We're also talking, how often do you go out to eat at a restaurant? More than I would like to admit, daily, maybe.
Same-ish.
Yeah.
I went to the buffet today, but
the buffet.
Yeah, it was after it was after doing some events, so yeah, that was fun.
Look at you hitting up the buffet. That's nice. I'm gonna hit up the buffet. That sounds like a good Friday plan. You can weigh in. We do have a poll up on our Facebook page, so let us know your thoughts and opinions on our question of the day. But first, let's go check in with Brett and Josh Ryan Sports, who are down at Lakeland.
Well, Josh joins me now here at Lakeland College as tonight the Lakeland College Rustlers go up against the Grand Prairie College Wolfpack. It's a big night when it comes to the standings and the regular season, but also a special night as money will be going to charity tonight. Let's talk a little bit about that and just how big tonight is.
Yes, indeed. Grand Prairie Wolves in town, meaning a chance for the men's volleyball team to widen the gap rather and really clinch that fourth spot in the playoff race. But the food drive, raising food and money for the Salvation Army, one non-perishable item gets you in for free tonight. So a big drive from the athletes themselves and for the community.
Perfect. We'll have a little bit more coming up from here at Lakeland College, but first let's head back into the studio where Connor has a look at your local news.
The city of Lloydminster is preparing for its first full residential snow removal this winter, which begins on Monday. Eric Bay has more.
Crews will be out removing snow Monday through Friday, and the entire operation is expected to take 4 weeks. The city is asking for the public's help to make sure the removal goes smoothly.
It should be nice to get as many vehicles off the street as possible. If the vehicles are left on the street, it constricts our work zone quite dramatically, and it's nice to, when we're done, to leave the street and know that it's completed. We will not come back to these vehicles that are left until the full snow removal has been completed.
The city evaluates roads weekly to see if they need to be cleared, but this full-scale snow removal is the only one that the city has budgeted for this winter. However, the city will complete another one if needed.
In 13-14, we actually did 2 snow removals. We had a total accumulation of snow that year of 200 centimeters. So we do budget for 1. That's kind of been the standard for a lot of years, and we just go from there.
The snow will be pushed into the middle of the road into windrows, where it will be picked up by snowblowers and trucks and transported to a dump site. People are asked to keep a safe distance from the machinery.
And there could be 8 to 12 pieces of heavy equipment on the streets, including trucks and everything. So we do ask the people to stay away back from the equipment. Please keep the children off the windrows, away from the construction zone altogether.
The snow removal will not take place in school zones at drop-off and pickup times and will move to accommodate garbage pickups. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
Grade 6 students at Rendell Park School took part in a live feed session with Canada France Hawaii Telescope based in Hawaii as part of their solar system unit. Instead of reading out of a textbook in class, the students were able to talk to people that work with the Canada France Hawaii Telescope and get more of an interactive learning experience.
They can answer your specific questions that your teacher might not be able to.
I was excited for it so I could listen to all of this and learn more about the solar system for my next science unit.
Something that made this presentation so special was that one of the speakers is a former LPSD student. The students were able to walk in and have a connection with the speaker off the top.
And I think that's what makes the learning most meaningful, is when there is that personal connection. And we're hoping that this is something that they sort of remember throughout their school days, and as they go on to choose careers, that this is something that they can sort of latch onto, and maybe it'll spark future astronomers in days to come.
The school plans to have another live presentation like this in the future. Well, earlier today, Mayor Gerald Albers got a chance to read to the students of Rendell Park Elementary School. The mayor read to the grade 1 and 4 students as of National Literacy Week. Literacy Week gives students the chance to develop and improve their reading skills.
And I think it's so important. It's National Literacy Week. I think it's really important that the kids, especially in our schools, understand how important reading is, and having the opportunity of people come and read to them to realize that, oh, that's really important, and talk about reading.
This week, students get the opportunity to have many different guest readers come into their schools and read to them, a part of Literacy Week.
I think it's really important that the kids have a chance to interact with other people, and myself as mayor and people outside the school system. I think it's really important because some they see on the street, some they see on TV, or they've heard their parents talk about them. I think it gives them a different perspective.
Family Literacy Day is this Sunday. And now let's send it back to Brett Holden down at Lakeland College.
Tonight, the Lakeland Rustlers will go up against the Grand Prairie Wolfpack. And right now, left side, Shelby Becker joins me. Now, Shelby, let's talk about just your guys' history against Grand Prairie so far this season and what your guys' game plan heading into tonight is.
Our history with the GP is good. We've played them really well the last couple of years. And yeah, this year it's always fun playing them. They give us a good run for our money. So it should be good here this weekend. And yeah, we've just been working on lots of stuff this week and hoping to focus on our side kind of this weekend. We put a lot of emphasis on our serve, so that's a big thing. As long as we can serve and pass, I think we'll be able to have a good game against them.
Now, for you personally, you're in the top 5 in the league for both kills and kills per game. What's the main thing for you heading into tonight, just mindset and what you're really aiming for tonight?
I think I just want to know the other side and know who I'm up against and changing up my shots and everything like that, just to get them out of system and everything like that. So yeah.
Perfect. We'll have a little bit more coming up here at Lakeland College. Tonight, if you bring a non-perishable food item, you come in for free. So we'll have a little bit more coming up from here at tonight's game. But first, let's head back into the studio where Michaela has a look at your weather.
All right, thank you so much, Brett. We are in for a nice warm weekend, but it is coming at a cost with some freezing rain and some snow. Sitting at -5 degrees right now, feels like -11 with that wind chill out. We are in for some precipitation this evening. As we look to the satellite radar, a couple of patches of rain and snow are making their way to the region, and a pressure is coming through Saskatchewan, which is going to cause very snowy areas over the weekend. No watches and warnings currently in effect for our area. Now, there are some weather warnings currently in effect throughout Saskatchewan, North Battleford in this because there is some strong winter conditions coming in the next few days and starting this evening. As we look to the map, -5 here in the border city, 4 degrees in Edmonton, 5 in Edson, 3 degrees in Whitecourt, 3 degrees in Jasper, 0 degrees in Rocky Mountain House. And then as we move out east, -21 in Prince Albert, -19 in Melfort, with Saskatoon currently sitting at -13. As we look to the broadcast region, North Battleford in for quite a bit of snow this evening. Could see about 2 centimeters, and then by the weekend, almost 10 centimeters. Tomorrow, a high of 0 degrees with some rain and snow mix. Cold Lake sitting at -6, currently dipping down to -8 overnight, where the snow is going to start. 60% chance we'll see that tonight, and then tomorrow it's going to turn into some rain. Out tonight, the snow could potentially turn into some freezing drizzle, and that is going to be in effect for the Lloydminster area as well. -7 here overnight, 2 degrees tomorrow, but we are going to see some rain. 60% chance on Sunday as well, and this is where we could see about 2 centimeters accumulate. 2 degrees there, 0 for our low, and then we get cool on Monday, -14 and -17 for the overnight low. We are in for a massive amount of snow next week, and I'll have those details for you coming up in just a little bit.
Well, we've all said it. I'm too busy or my schedule won't permit me. Jar Lampow meets a lifestyle coach who is urging her audience to take care of themselves.
Can you run down the road and pick up a cannon?
I do some lifestyle coaching and helping people to, I use the phrase, dance to the fullest expression of themselves.
And I can do it in my bare feet.
Lisa Freed grew up on a ranch and was on horseback even before she could walk. She was sharing her motivational story with her audience at the recent Rural Women Conference.
What kind of hobbies do you have? Because you can't really say, oh, I'm going to take the weekend off, I'm going fishing, or I'm involved in this beautiful art class, or I take ballet once a week, because life in agriculture can be a bit unpredictable.
Freed is concerned that people get so tied to what they do that they may not be able to explore other interests until there's a wreck on the ranch.
We know that there's seasons where there's a little more time. During calving, there's not a whole lot of time for you to say, oh, I'm going to take this class, I'm going to make sure that I'm hanging out with my friends all the time, or reading even different books by different authors.
Freed encourages people to explore different pursuits.
Maybe gardening is a passion that I want to explore, and make sure that you are building that into your schedule, you're putting it on there, and then you're letting your partners know, whether it's your spouse or your family members, or just if you've got a partner in your agriculture operation, hey, this is something I'm interested in. Would you mind helping me stay accountable?
Freed recommends having a partner in crime to help you break the cycle. She talks about meditation, which in her own life she schedules at 4 a.m. Still, some folks will say they just get up and go. Freed shares this nugget.
My parents' ranch, the best sunrises happen there. And so without a doubt, you will see me taking notice of the sunrise, and likely a picture of it too.
That's your agriculture news. Sports is next, but first let's take a look at your ag prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
The Lakeland basketball squads have their longest road trip of the regular season this weekend in Grand Prairie. Needing to climb the standings, the women are focused on cleaning up their offense.
Defensively, we're decent at times. Still, there was the lapses, but if we look after the ball and take care of business with that, we'll most likely win games.
The men are looking for a season sweep over the Wolves.
We need to focus more on getting the rebounds and not playing a half-court game, because we can't play a half-court game being shorter than the other team. We got to play a fast-paced game.
You can catch the games tonight and tomorrow afternoon on ACAC TV. One non-perishable food item will get you into the Rustlers volleyball matchup against the Grand Prairie Wolves tonight. In addition to being one of their biggest charitable ventures this year, it's a key moment in the season before the two teams have a bye next weekend. With 2 wins, the men's team could take a major step towards clinching the 4th and final playoff spot in the ACAC North. The Rustlers opened October with a dominant sweep over the Wolves, but there's too much on the line to take the opposition lightly.
Our conference is way too good for us to ever think that, okay, we're okay now, we're safe. But we can't ever think, yeah, we're one step closer, we're almost there. It just needs to be one match at a time. Do all the things we've been doing that's allowed us to be successful this whole season.
Currently 3 wins ahead of the Kings. Eagles' success this weekend could reduce pressure moving forward.
It's just to separate ourselves from the 5th place team that's kind of chasing us. If we can get 2 solid wins this weekend, increase that gap, and it might take some weight off our shoulders moving forward.
The women's team are clear of the middle pack in the playoff race, but aren't in the business of letting go of first place.
Grand Prairie is a team that I'm never going to take for granted ever. We try to generate things to make sure that our preparation is always the same, and it doesn't matter who we're playing against. That way we don't have to learn hard lessons for, taking things for granted or not actually preparing for an opponent.
The women's match kicks off tonight at 6 p.m. The Lloydminster Bobcats are off this weekend, but there's still plenty of local teams in action. The Junior B Bandits host the top-ranked Wainwright tonight and the Cold Lake Ice Sunday afternoon. Minor hockey takes to the road as the Bantam AAA Bobcats are in Red Deer and Okotoks, and the Midget AAA Bobcats are in Calgary. Well, let's send it over to Brett Holden, who's with head coach Austin Dyer.
Well, the Lakeland Rustlers and the Grand Prairie Wolfpack are just starting to warm up here at the Lakeland College gym here, and Austin Dyer joins us now from the Lakeland College gym. Now, Austin, let's talk about just how important this game is for you guys, trying to extend that lead in first place for you guys. What's the game plan, and what's kind of the message in the locker room for you?
Yeah, it's for us to just keep doing what we do. We obviously have a few things we want to try to do against this team to help ourselves be successful, but we're trying to play at a high level. That's the biggest part is, heading towards the end of the season, what level can we start playing at, and how can we push our opponents? What can we do on our side to be successful? And we're going to hopefully do some good things tonight to keep ourselves going in the right direction.
And what are those main points for you that you definitely want to hammer down and kind of acknowledge to in tonight's game?
Yeah, when it comes down to the end, usually the team that has the best serve and pass is going to have a chance to win. And so, we need to serve aggressive and not miss so much. We need to control the ball on serve receive to allow our offense to execute, and then we got to keep the ball in play. And so if we can limit our errors and wait out rallies and work to win the rally versus trying to win it on the first swing or trying to make up for lost points in one swing, hopefully with patience, we're going to be able to play at a high level and get the job done.
So tonight's a special night. If you bring in a non-perishable food item, you get into the game for free. Let's talk about how special that is for your team and kind of the program as well, just bringing in a lot of fans and for a special cause as well.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, we set goals as a team as to what we want to accomplish and what we want to do, and everything just doesn't have to do with competition. Our college, is looking for us to have success in the classroom, in competition, but also in the community. And so, we try to do one event in each semester, or that's what we've done the last couple of years. And the team came up with, having a food drive for the Salvation Army, and talked with our athletics department to see if they'd be on board with us having a food drive to get into our game. And I haven't really done a whole lot with it. I have an old veteran team, and the players are completely on board, and they've ran the initiative themselves. Our setter Ray Sigurdsson is one of the driving forces on making sure that we're trying to strive to reach our goals and do the things that we set out to do. So she's been the spearhead on this for the most part, and she's basically taking care of it.
Perfect. We'll have a little bit more coming up from here at Lakeland College, but first let's head back into the studio where Michaela has a look at your weather.
All right, thank you so much, Brett. Starting it off with this weather shot sent to us by Joe. He was in Vermilion today. Thank you so much for sending that in. As we look to the map, we are in for a warm weekend, but it is coming at the price of some freezing rain and some snow. -5 here in the border city. We are expecting some freezing drizzle this evening, so if you are heading out on the roads, do be cautious as that comes into effect. Also some strong wind gusts this evening, and that's going to continue into the morning, and that's going to come into effect for Lloydminster as well as up north as we move into Bonnyville and Cold Lake in the Lac La Biche area, up to 40K. So blowing snow as well as some freezing rain could cause some slick conditions out there, so do be cautious. Number-wise, we're sitting pretty good. Edmonton sitting at 4 degrees right now. Lac La Biche at -6, also in Cold Lake -6. -8 in Pearson right now, -5 for Bonnyville. -12 right now in St. Walburg. North Battleford expecting 2 centimeters of snow starting tonight, and that could continue into the morning with some freezing rain and then some blowing snow on Sunday, as a low pressure is moving across Saskatchewan, and it's bringing some pretty crazy winter weather with it. Up as we look up north, it's very cold still. -19 in La Loche, also in Buffalo Narrows. -23 right now in La Ronge, and then as we move over into Alberta, a little bit warmer, but not by much more. -23 in Fort Chipewyan, again the cold spot in Alberta. -14 right now in Fort McMurray, with Slave Lake above the freezing mark at 2 degrees, with Grand Prairie sitting at 3. And then as we look down south, they are quite warm. 2 degrees in Calgary, 1 degree in Banff, 0 in Medicine Hat currently, with Regina sitting at -16, -2 in Swift Current, and -16 in Estevan. Now, areas in Saskatchewan could expect 10 centimeters of snow this weekend. It is going to be a crazy winter weather over across the prairies this weekend. Tomorrow we're going to be above the freezing mark at 2 degrees, but this is coming with some freezing rain and some snow throughout the day, and like I said, some strong wind gusts as well. So if you are hitting out the roads, do be cautious, as it could be quite slick out there. But across the map, we're sitting pretty much above the freezing mark, which is nice to see. As we look to our snow accumulation, we are expecting about up to 3 centimeters on Sunday. Now, because we are going to be above the freezing mark, this could be a rain-snow mix. So as you look at that, we're sitting in that 4 centimeters by Monday. As we look to the 7-day forecast, Saturday, Sunday, going to be a wet, snowy mix there above the freezing mark. And then we get into those cold seasonal numbers as of Monday. With Wednesday, we're expecting 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. And we are also going to be very cold, with the daytime high reaching only -20, -26 as the overnight low. low. And then as we move in further in the week, we're going to stay in those cold digits. -12 on Thursday, -22 for the overnight low, with Friday hitting -14.
Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
With a dramatic raid and a high-profile arrest, the Mueller investigation today took down a longtime advisor to Donald Trump. As CTV's Tom Walters reports, Roger Stone is now facing 7 charges related to obstruction of justice.
In the pre-dawn dark, armed FBI agents surrounded a Florida home. And the arrest of Trump campaign strategist Roger Stone drew a crowd of heckling onlookers to a Fort Lauderdale courthouse.
As I have always said, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about.
Stone is a central figure in reported efforts by the Trump campaign to get advance knowledge from WikiLeaks about Russian dirt on the Democrats. But today's charges are related not to collusion, but to denials of collusion.
Roger, what's the message you want to send to the committee today?
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
According to today's indictment, Stone repeatedly told lies when he testified before the House Intelligence Committee in September of 2017. So now he's charged with 1 count of obstruction, 5 counts of making false statements, and 1 count of witness tampering. A defiant Stone today flashed the double V for victory, associated with another embattled president. Once an aide to Richard Nixon, Stone even had Nixon's face tattooed on his back. And as a political strategist, he took pride in his use of dirty tricks. The White House today naturally distanced itself from the charges against Stone.
This doesn't have anything to do with the president, doesn't have anything to do with the White House.
Today, Donald Trump once again tweeted that the Mueller probe is the greatest witch hunt in the history of our country. A so-called witch hunt that now, with Stone, has indicted 6 Trump associates. Tom Walters, CTV News, Los Angeles.
Some encouraging news for those who have had their flu shots. Researchers say this year's vaccine is 72% effective in preventing infection across all age groups, a huge jump from last year's, which was less than 20%. Now, kids have been especially hit hard by the flu this year. As of January 12th, Public Health says more than 600 Canadian children have been hospitalized because of complications from the flu. As experts say, the epidemic appears different depending on where you live in the country, and that some areas may not have yet reached their peak. And now let's send it back over to Brett Holden and Josh Ryan down at Lakeland College.
Warm-ups are underway here at Lakeland College as tonight the Lakeland College Rustlers go up against the Grand Prairie College Wolfpack, and Josh joins me now. Let's talk a little bit about this Grand Prairie team's 8th in digs, but this Lakeland team is a very powerful team. What's something that Grand Prairie needs to focus on tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing for any team that faces the Lakeland Rustlers is serve receive. Lakeland's an aggressive serving team, and they don't make a lot of errors. So they're going to put pressure on you all night, and you can't afford to make errors back. That's ultimately Coach Austin Dyer's philosophy, is win the ball control battle. So win the receive, win the serve, and generally you're in good shape, as any volleyball team will be.
Now, Grand Prairie is also another team that is 8th in kills as well. So a team that's not necessarily going to throw it down your throat here. What's something that Lakeland is definitely looking for when it comes to the Grand Prairie side?
Well, the main thing they're looking for is Megan Cook, #1 on the Wolves team. She's one of the leading kill getters in the ACAC, has been for several years. Some Lakeland fans may remember from 2017 when the Rustlers beat the Wolves in the conference championship. Megan Cook was an all-star and starter on that Wolves team back in 2017 that finished 4th at the national championship. And she always gets a lot of volume. Expect her to continue that trend tonight.
So 3-0 and 3-1 for the last 2 meetings for these 2 teams. What's kind of the expectations here tonight?
Well, the expectations obviously are wins. Dyer's squad has been the best team in the ACAC the past 2 seasons, one of the best teams, if not the best, this year again. So they're obviously expecting to come away with 2 wins. This is a scrappy Grand Prairie team with a couple of dangerous weapons like Cook, but the main focus for them is going to be, again, limiting errors. They made a few too many errors, even though they beat Grand Prairie last time they met. They've been cleaning that up the last couple of weeks. Expect them to be very sharp tonight.
Perfect. 6 o'clock start here at Lakeland for the Lakeland Wrestlers and Grand Prairie Wolves. We'll have a little bit more coming up here at Lakeland, but first let's head back into the studio where Connor and Michaela are talking about your question of the day.
All right, welcome back. Well, with new services in the border city like Skip the Dishes, I know I'm guilty of using it maybe a little too much. We want to know, how often do you eat restaurant food? We did put up a poll. 22% of you say multiple times a week, with 78% of you weighing in at a few times a month. I wish I was in that category. I do it way too much. How about you?
I never use Skip the Dishes, or I'm one of those people that I'll actually go out and go into the restaurant and do it. I mean, I'm one of those people that will go to a restaurant by myself and.
There you go.
Yeah, but in terms of eating, I mean, I'm guilty of that too. But I always try to make trips to the superstore during work hours. But I buy, like, veggies and other desk snacks that I like to have.
Yeah, you buy in bulk. Connor is always eating. It's true. Connor always has some food with him. Tracy says she maybe eats out only 3 times a year.
See, if
Tracy,
I can do
need
that.
your willpower.
Yeah, I need that too. Actually, that's really impressive. Actually,
it is very impressive. All right, we're gonna get to our pets of the day now, and make sure you stay tuned to the end of the next hour because we will be announcing this week's pet winner. So you're starting off your weekend with a $50 gift card to the Pet Pad. Let's see who we have today. This is Carlos. Oh, look at that little bow tie. That was sent to us by Reg. Thanks so much for sending that one in. This is Mitzi, very cute little puppy there. That was sent to us by Kaylee. Next up, we have Spice. Look at that, that's so cute. That's a great shot. That was sent to us by Donna. Next up, we have Moose. Look at this little guy. This was sent to us by Sheena. I love those little ears.
I know.
Super cute. And last but certainly not least, we have Lady. Look at that tongue. That was sent to us by Shaylin. Very happy. Thank you for sending these photos in. If you saw your pet here on Primetime Local News this week, you will be entered to win a $50 gift card to the Lloydminster Pet Pad, which we draw for every Friday.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Welcome back to Primetime Local News. I'm joined by head coach and the manager of the Lloydminster Boxing Club, Devin Burgess. Welcome to our studio. I think, were you ever here when we had the gloves show?
No, I wasn't. No.
Okay, so we actually, I guess that we talked to you so many times over the years. It's kind of weird we've never had you in studio, but obviously it's been an exciting time for boxing. As you were saying to me off camera, Christmas time is a busy time for boxers, and then the next couple of months you have a bunch of bouts. So let's start with Preston. We have a bout coming up in February, so tell us about it.
Yeah, it'll be our second event we've held in Lloyd, and second event held in Lloyd in probably 20 years, so very excited about that for sure.
Yeah, well, a little bit, I guess, to explain, how come we haven't had more boxing matches and bouts, I guess, in this city in over that time frame?
Boxing's been slow in town, I guess, so the club shut down about 15 years ago, and nobody's really started one up since, and here we are again.
Yeah. And so now how long have you been running things over at the boxing club yourself?
It's been about 3 years now, I guess we've been open, and things have been going great right from day one. So.
Yeah, and I know of the last time I was out there, you have quite a few kids between the ages of 12 to 15, especially boxing. This year, registrants have been even more than ever this year, correct?
Yeah, for sure. Lots of kids getting into boxing, and kids boxing is actually fairly new to Canada boxing. And when I was younger, you had to be 11 years old to compete, and just within the past couple of years, they moved the age down to 7, which is very cool, and we're one of the first clubs to take advantage of that.
Cool. Now, I'd love to get back to that, but first let's stay with the bout at hand. What are some of the key matchups that people should pay attention to for this upcoming bout here in the city?
We've got 2 open class boxers in the gym now, Emil Smith and Darcy Fesser. They're Aim will be a 164 class boxer and Darcy be our heavyweight, but they're both on the Sask provincial team. They'll both be fighting for Saskatchewan at the Nationals this year, so they'll be our couple main events and a couple guys to watch for sure.
And just to confirm their age group again?
They're both senior boxers, so Emil would be 19 and Darcy's 25. So.
Nice. And how long have they been with your club?
They've both been at the club just about since day one. Darcy be 2 years and Emil be just about 3 now. So. Yeah.
How do you feel about their progression and how they're going to do in this bout? Do they have pretty tough opponents?
I do have an opponent match for one of them, and the other one I'm still in talks with finding an opponent for, but we'll definitely find them a matchup for sure, depending where the person be from. Maybe Manitoba, we'll see.
Okay. Now you said that, as you've said, Christmas has been a busy time. That whole month of December. You've already had these guys have already had an opportunity to box already. You said you had a bout 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, these guys have been very active. We've been competing these guys just about every weekend. And yeah, a couple weekends ago we were at the Silver Gloves in Medicine Hat, and Darcy won the open class heavyweight division. Emil fought the Canadian champ, had a really tough match. He lost that, but looks forward to boxing him again.
Absolutely. And what kind of turnout are you hoping, or what are you expecting to get from people, or what do you want people to expect when they come to watch in, I guess, say the date again for me.
February 23rd.
So I guess we're a little less than a month away now, but what do you want people to get out of the experience?
Excitement, I guess, that's number one. People come for the show, and the show is definitely what we give them, and sportsmanship, I guess, number one. They'll see that, and how good of friends everybody is before and after they box each other, and just how exciting it is,
Yeah, perfect. So we'll have more with Devin in studio about not just the upcoming fights, but also work they do at the boxing club. And we'll also have more for you right now on Primetime Local News.
Hi, I am joined with Jill Kelly, owner of Red Bicycle, and thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming in. Do you want to kind of explain just off the start what Red Bicycle is, what the company is, and what you guys do?
Sure. We are a marketing and advertising company here in Lloydminster, and our goal is to provide the premium marketing assistance for all our clients. So we do everything from social media management and strategy to overall marketing plans and development to day-to-day design and if you need business cards and things like that.
You guys do it all.
We do it all.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so is it something that if you are an entrepreneur, you're just starting out a new business, can they come to you for kind of, like the help of how to even get started? Because starting that can be a very daunting task. So can you kind of walk us through, like if someone was starting a new business, they come to you, what are kind of the steps that you kind of would walk someone through?
Sure, yeah. And we definitely do provide that service. So oftentimes we'll have either existing businesses or new businesses contact us saying, help.
Yeah.
And we do a consultation where they come in and we develop a strategy for them based on who they are and what their client or what their company needs are, and then who their target audience is.
Right.
So it really depends on what that strategy is based on who the client is. We don't have cookie cutter solutions. It's not package A or B. It's whatever develops is what makes sense for you and your business.
Which is perfect because that's kind of what people are looking for now. It's something to personalize your business and make sure it's successful for them. Just a little off camera, we were talking a little bit about social media because it's such a big part of business nowadays and stuff like that. So what are kind of your thoughts on people using like Instagram, Facebook, those kind of platforms to kind of boost their business? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. Generally speaking, social media is a wonderful tool that businesses can use to connect directly to their audiences. Traditional media might be a little bit more expensive for many clients, and there's unfortunately a lack of analytics that come with it, where social media and online development, there's a lot that goes with it, so it's really nice. The one thing I would caution people about is to know your audience and know which platform makes sense for you. So if you are running a retail place, Instagram would probably be a good fit.
Right.
Where if you are doing more like a petroleum provider, maybe Instagram isn't your niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Just finding the right audience and making sure it kind of feeds to them, basically.
Yeah.
I also wanted to just kind of ask you, what are kind of the the main questions that you get asked when business come to you? What is kind of their main concern when they reach out to you, or what they go to you for problem solving, basically?
Yeah, for sure. Oftentimes we get asked what is a good marketing budget, or who do I want to talk to? How do I know what platform to be on? And all these are very good questions, very normal questions. One thing I'll say is, if you're an existing business, look at what you have done in the past and think about where you find value. So if you're talking about community engagement and sponsorship, that should be accounted into your marketing budget.
Absolutely.
It'll be better if you donate to a cause that you actually care about and that fits with your brand values and your personal values if you're a small business. So target that way. The other is see what you've done in the past, where you're willing to go in the future, and do a little bit at a time, right? Like you don't need to jump into a huge campaign for your first ever go, but at the same time, it's that balance between, are you going to do a lot of work, or are you going to spend a little bit more money?
Yeah, absolutely.
And have it all.
Yeah, that's perfect. Those are all great tips and great advice. That is the time we have. But thank you so much for coming in today, Jill. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and if people want to reach out to you online, what's your website?
Yeah, redbicycle.com or Jill at redbicycle.com is my email, and we're happy to hear from you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's almost game time here at Lakeland College, as tonight the Lakeland Rustlers go up against the Grand Prairie Wolves. If you bring in a non-perishable food item donation here, you get in for free. As you can see, there is a ton of it so far. And if you can't make it out to the 6 o'clock game between the women's teams at around 8 o'clock, there is going to be the men's game. So if you come down, bring in one of these, you get in for that for free. Tonight, the Lakeland Rustlers are coming into it 16-2, first in the North, and this Grand Prairie team is 5th in the North as well. So they are trying to bridge that gap between the two teams. We'll have a little bit more coming up in the second hour, talking about the food drive here. But first, let's head back into the studio where Michaela and Connor are going to wrap up the first hour of tonight's show.
All right, thank you so much, Brett. Definitely a great cause going down at Lakeland College tonight, so definitely bring in a food donation if you can and catch a free game. Not a bad deal. Weather-wise, we're in for a warm weekend, but it is coming with some snow and some rain. We're going to hit 2 degrees both on Saturday and Sunday, almost in that 60% both days that we're going to see that precipitation. Now, we could see 60% chance, that we'll see some freezing drizzle tonight with some strong winds up to 50 kilometers an hour, and that's going to continue into tomorrow as well. So we could possibly see some blowing snow, and that's going to come into effect for North Battleford on Sunday as well. As we move in further throughout the week, it will be getting into those seasonal numbers. So Monday, -14. Tuesday hitting -19, -24 is the overnight low, and then Wednesday we're expecting 10 to 15 centimeters of snow, with the daytime high only reaching -20, -26 for the overnight low. So we are going to be quite cold and very, very snowy that day. So we'll keep an eye on that model that's moving in as it comes this way. And areas into Saskatchewan, you are going to be getting quite a bit of snow over the weekend and a lot of cold temperatures. So do be cautious out there, as that freezing rain is going to come into effect. So if you have any weekend travel plans, do drive safe. But we'll be here for the weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll stay inside with the rain. Anyways, we're going to continue here on Primetime Local News. Stay with us.